I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
This morning, we're talking about it's okay to not be okay, but it will be okay. That's the thing. That's the trick part. It may not feel like it's okay, but it will be. And from firsthand experience, and we all have the same experience. You may feel like it's not okay, but it works out somehow, right? Doesn't it always turn around somehow? It's always all right in the end. That's the thing. And there's a quote. If anybody in the comments knows, please let me know something about you know, it may not be all right now or something like that. But wait, something about if it's not the end, it's not okay until it's the end or something like that. And that's how you'll know if it's the end. You get what I mean. Anyways, if you know the quote, please let me know because I butchered it. But you get the gist of what I'm saying, hopefully. So, learning to identify your emotions is extremely healthy for your mental well being. And that's how you'll know if you're okay, if you're not okay. You know what I mean? And that's fine. Like, if you're not okay, it's okay to know that. It's okay to feel that. It's okay to be that way. But figuring out why you're not okay is what's most important. What has happened for you to feel like, okay, I'm not good? Because we just have those days where you wake up or you could be feeling good in the morning and then something will happen throughout the day and then you're like, all right, I'm not okay now. Why? What happened? Is it something in your subconscious? Is it something that you should be facing that you keep hiding? You know what I mean? That you keep letting build on top of each other? What is it? Because it could be a mixture of things. And that's why we talk about venting and writing things down and doing meditation and just trying really therapeutic methods because this helps you to be okay. This helps you so that when you have those off days, as we like to call them, because you're just a little off course, a little off task. That's okay. Everybody has those days. And it doesn't have to last the whole day either. If you learn how to have better coping methods, it doesn't last the whole day. Like yesterday, I had a day where I didn't feel like I was okay at the beginning. And then towards the middle, I started to talk more. I got more things out. And then I was good. I felt like me again. I was like, okay, I'm okay now. I wasn't okay at first, but I'm like, okay, I'm good now. It's just sometimes talking and laughter and just thinking about the positives and hearing other testimonies, all of that can really help you. Little do you know, just having someone relate or having multiple people relate can really help you. And then you can start to shift your way of thinking because they can share what they've been through. And then it kind of gives you more of a wide perspective, a wider perspective at that. Okay. So understanding your emotions is extremely healthy. Because as we all know, no one knows you better than you know you. And if you don't know you, get to know you. Okay. So the difference between when you feel okay versus when you don't feel okay, learn what that is, what that feeling is, so that you can establish that and you can set up certain methods, certain self-care routines, different things like that, so that you can take care of yourself and not feel like you're not doing well. And this is this phrase right here, you all, is life changing. It's a bad day, not a bad life. This right here can save lives, I promise you, because the thing is, when we get those moments of feeling not okay, it's because we feel like our lives are bad. You're not having a bad life. Your life is not bad. Your life is great. It's just your days are a little bit confusing. Your days are a bit frustrating. Your days are a bit chaotic. That can be dealt with. That can be handled. That can be improved. That can be changed. But when you start to tell yourself your life is terrible, then we have a problem. That makes it more permanent. But when you tell yourself that, it's just a bad day, and like I said, it doesn't even have to be a bad day. It could just be a bad few hours. You know what I mean? Like minimize it as much as you can. Like mind over matter. Your mind is what is going to save you from um a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety and a lot of unnecessary emotions. And when I say unnecessary, I mean like, making yourself, not making yourself, but feeling sad when You don't necessarily need to, because you have a great life, you know. Not saying that you don't deserve to go through all of what you're going through, like in terms of feeling your emotions. You deserve to understand yourself through and through. So if you do feel sad, that's legit, that's fine, like you can feel that. But just recognize when you're putting yourself through unnecessary strain, because I do it all the time. Okay, so that's why I'm able to say that, because there are moments where I'm like, yo, that really was like so emotional for no reason. Because like, it's okay when you really look at it from an outside perspective. It's okay, like it's going to be okay. It's just when you're an empath, or you're empathetic, or you're just emotional, it's hard to see these things. But the more you study, the more you, like I said, talk to different people, get outside opinions, um, things get better.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
One thing that I want everyone to understand, that it's okay to ask for help. If you need to go get professional help, like a professional person to assist you with these situations, even better, that's fine. But figure out someone that works with you, that's going to be happy to work along with you, that's going to be there from start to finish, and not feel like they're not as invested as you are. Make sure that you're picking a therapist that caters to your needs, and is really invested in mental health, and cares about bettering people, and is not trying to collect the paycheck, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean? That's crucial. Because I'm not gonna lie, I had that's why I didn't like my therapist, because she was always talking about money all the time. And I'm like, this is funny. Like, you know, she kept trying to find different ways of bringing that up. And I'm like, okay, you know, that's interesting. But like, and eventually we just had to part ways, you know, because of whatever. But yeah, she was more so about the money than anything. And it took me time to realize that. But when I did realize it, I was like, oh, all right, wow, you know, and that's okay. Different strokes for different folks. But like I said, if that's a route that you want to go down, that's okay. You can go down that route. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, it's perfectly fine. It doesn't make you crazy. Don't feel like that stigma. Don't attach yourself to that. Mental health is not anything bad. Mental health is great. Hence the word health. You know, your health is important. Um, so understand that, you know, in those moments when it feels like your entire world is going to come crashing down, we have to look deep within, and we have to see that most of the hardships that we experience are conquerable. You know, they're temporary, and they're significant to the growth process, your overall growth, you know. But these things, like I said, when you really look at them and you take it all in and you do a lot of strategizing, you'll see that you can actually dominate a lot of these situations. It's just mind over matter. So when you realize, okay, I'm not okay, take the steps to be okay. Go from there, and don't settle in that. You know, go through the motions, express yourself fully, cry it out, scream it out, talk it out, walk it out, dance it out, whatever you got to do. Go through the motions, and you can go through a variety of emotions if you need to. Who cares? This is your formula. Whatever works for you, works for you. But just realize that it's okay to feel that. It's okay to be there. You don't have to be perfect. No one's expecting you to be perfect at all. That's not what life is about. Life is not about perfection. Life is about experiences, growth, building, understanding, compromise, all kinds of different virtues in life. You know what I mean? So it's not just about being perfect. You know, that's not even a real thing. Okay, so although the difficult moments might feel like they're breaking you down, it's the exact opposite. Like I said, you know, in fact, it's adding to your success later on. You know, you find the value of being yourself through feeling all of your emotions, not just one. And that's something that we have to get comfortable with as people, as beings. Don't just get comfortable with your positive side all the time. Be comfortable with your positive side, your negative side, everything in between, your gray areas, all of that. Get comfortable with your entire self. Do not just be pleased with yourself when you're having a good day. You have to get comfortable with that person that you have on those bad days too, because for me, it feels like entirely different people. I don't know about anybody else, but that's just me. That's how I express it, because there's me, and then there's that version that I don't really understand when I have those bad days. I don't even claim that as me. I don't know who that is, but that's my way of doing it to make myself feel better, because I have a disorder, so it's an entirely different thing. And shout out to those who are dealing with disorders like bipolar disorder, any type of mental health issue that you have going on, condition, whatever the case may be, mood disorders. Um, do the best that you can, even though everyone may not understand you. It's okay. I understand you and I care about what you're going through. So, hey, if you need someone, feel free to reach out to me. I'm open. I'm happy to talk about these things, because we need a lot of, coaching along too. We just don't say much. We don't like to talk about our disorders, but it's okay. If you need someone to talk to it about, I'm here for you. All right. So, yeah. And understanding, that's why I said, and understanding the type of person that you are and the type of brain that you have. All of us are not, we're definitely not built the same way. But like I said, if you do have a condition, it is a bit more challenging for you to be more positive or to be okay, and I get that, because you have a bit more obstacles in your way. And someone explained it to me differently. It's like when you have a mental disorder or a mood disorder, look at it this way. Instead of thinking, oh my gosh, I have all of these thoughts racing, think of it as, I have all of these great ideas, all of this inspiration inside of me. And I just have so much creativity. It's just overflowing. Look at it that way. You know what I mean?
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
So, and yes, if you do know someone with a disorder, please be there for them. That is crucial. Thank you. Thank you for that. You know what I mean? Because that does matter. So understand that the worst step that you could ever make is holding on to those thoughts. Holding things in. Holding things in is not beneficial for you, your mental health, or anything that is progressive. It does not help you. Trust me, it does not help you. So you have to feel those things, and it's because we're afraid that we don't want to go there most of the time. We don't want to venture off into that side of our minds because we're afraid of what could happen. A lot of us are afraid that we can't bounce back. A lot of us are afraid to be that vulnerable. A lot of us are afraid that, it's going to make us weak. We start to feel all kinds of like negative emotions attached to that. And it's just, I understand the fear of the unfamiliar. It's natural. But at the same time, this is you. This is familiar territory. This is your mind. This is not unfamiliar at all. This is your entire being. This is you. It can't get any more familiar than that. Now, you may not be able to register the thoughts necessarily because you don't really recognize those thoughts. They may be new thoughts. You may be like, whoa, I didn't know my mind could think that way. Okay, you just discovered it could. Now it's familiar. It's that simple. That's your thought. Just understand it's your thought. Now, it may be anxiety talking, but it's still your thoughts. Now, filtering them out and understanding what's anxiety versus what's your normal train of thought. But I don't think there's a such thing as normal. So I won't say normal because that puts too much pressure on us. But just understand what I'll say your usual thought process is. Good morning, good morning. So understand the differences between the unusual thoughts that you're having and the usual thoughts that you're having. Instead of saying normal, we're going to throw that out altogether. Normality doesn't exist, okay? We're in 2021. Look at the way the world works. Normality has been gone a long time ago, okay? I don't even think it ever existed. So, usual and unusual, okay? So, and everybody has that. Everyone has their usual way of being versus unusual, okay? So, you shouldn't have any problems identifying that. So like I said, don't hold things in and don't feel guilty for resonating with those emotions. Like I said, don't feel guilty for feeling sad. Don't feel guilty for feeling frustrated or confused or mad. Don't feel guilty for feeling negative, period. It's just normal. You're going to have those moments where you just don't understand what is going on around you or what's going on within you. That's life. Now, what you do with that makes a difference. Doesn't matter about that part. Everybody has that part. Everybody goes through that section. Now, everybody reacts to it differently, though. Now, how are you going to react? That's the key. It's not about feeling it, it's about getting through the feelings. How are you going to get through the feelings? And when you do get through, what are you going to do so that you can manage this better? What are you going to do with the end results? You know what I mean? That's what you need to be worried about, the future. Don't think about, oh, I'm feeling this way right now. Okay, after this is done, and that's the thing. That's why I said it's okay to not be okay, but it will be okay. That's the thing. So when it is okay again, what are you going to do? What are you going to do differently? You know, what is the feeling that you're looking forward to when this temporary form of pessimism is done? You know what I mean? Because that's all it is pessimism, just seeing the worst out of everything and feeling really down and just feeling negative. Okay, we all get pessimistic. So what? It's human nature. It's nothing wrong with it. Now, getting through the pessimism, that's the goal. You know, everybody can't get through their situations. That's what we fail to realize. A lot of people never deal with their stuff. They just put it to the back of their subconscious and they just say, oh, well, I'm good again. Are you really though? Because if that situation were to arise again, you're just gonna go right back to square one, right? So that's not being okay. That's the total opposite. That's hiding your real feelings. That's pretending. And that's one thing you really don't want to do. When you're not feeling okay, please do not pretend that you're okay. You're doing more harm to yourself than good. Talk about it. Do something. Be active. Do something with it. Like, get it out of you. Do not let it stay inside of you, because it has negative effects on your physical. It has negative effects on your mental. It has negative effects on your spiritual. It has negative effects overall, just all three. And you don't want to affect your mentality, your spirituality, and your physical body. You know what I mean? You want to take care of yourself in all aspects of living. So is it worth, look at it this way. Let's say maybe an hour or two of crying. Is that so bad compared to weeks on end of your body breaking down from stress, your mentality being all over the place? You can't stay focused because you're stressed out and you're not spiritual. You don't know what to believe in anymore. Your belief system is just all out the window. Do you need to jeopardize all of that just because you're afraid to cry for a couple hours? Like, really? You know what I mean? Think about it like that. That's how I think about it. It is not worth all of that. And that's why a lot of people struggle. And I hate to use that word, but it's the honest to God truth. That's why a lot of us struggle, because we do the bare minimum just to say, okay, I'm good. And then like we just move on like nothing ever happened. No, no, no. Stop being afraid. Feel the whole process. Don't just say, okay, I'm mad, and then cuss for a little bit and then be like, all right, I'm good again. No, sir, no, ma'am. I know there's more emotion to it than that. I know there's more emotions that you're not diving deep to feel. And avoiding those emotions is hurting you.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
Hurting you, and you can tell because it keeps coming back, especially when it keeps coming back around. And every time it comes back around, you just bury it deeper and deeper and deeper. You're just digging a hole and you're just covering the hole every time. It just doesn't make sense. Like, let's really feel where we're at, respect what we're going through, understand that it's working for you, not against you. It's happening for you, not to you. And that's why I say respect it, because it is a gift from God in disguise. And you just have to see it that way. God is blessing you. You just have to realize the blessings. You have to see them for what they're worth. Don't think that it's a punishment, because it's not. Trick your mind, change your way of thinking, and that is crucial. That will save you with, oh my gosh, that'll save your life every time. Like I said, it's a bad day. It's not a bad life. Okay. One bad day, it could be a week. It doesn't matter. Those are bad days. That's not a bad life. You know what I mean? It could be a bad month. I don't care. It's a bad month, not a bad life. Don't ever say you're having a bad life. You know what I mean? Because you're not. Okay? So let's get away from that altogether, because you're manifesting this. You're manifesting that. When you say your life sucks and all that, you are just constantly manifesting that you're not going to be okay. It's like almost asking for it. You want to not be okay. That's what the universe determines. It's like, okay, he or she must like this. So let me keep giving them more of it. And that's what's going to happen. So stop looking at yourself that way. Stop looking at your life that way. Good morning. Good morning. Shout out to the gang. You know what I'm saying? Stop looking at stuff that way and change your lens. Switch out your lens. Have a more positive lens. And no, I'm not saying look at the world with rose-colored glasses on. No, ma'am. No, sir. Not at all. Be realistic, but don't think that it's the end of the world, is what I'm trying to say. Don't think that every bad situation that happens to you is the end. It's not. It's a process of growth. It is a part of you. It is a part of who you're going to be, and it's just where you're at right now. You're not going to always be depressed. You're not going to always be stressed out. You're not going to always have financial struggles. You're not going to always have relationship issues. You're not going to, I'm telling you, the list goes on. It's not forever. It's just right now. It's temporary. I promise you, it is temporary. I'm telling you, I came from days I could not see good days. I didn't even know good days were ever going to happen again. Like I'm telling you, there was a moment in my life where I cried for a year straight, every day, every single day. Okay. So if I could come from that and be where I'm at right now and be good, you could do it. Okay. You can do it. Like, and there was no light at the end of that tunnel. There was no light for me at the time. I was like, no, no, this can't be it, you know? But that, like I said, you have to learn the type of person that you are. You have to, and I do recommend going to a professional to see if you might have a mental, like a mood disorder or something. It's good to know these things so that you'll understand the type of brain that you have. And if you don't, then okay, you can rule it out, but at least find out, please. I'm being so serious right now. Please go to a psychiatrist or whoever and figure out if you have something going on with you mentally, okay? Because I didn't know for the longest time. And then when I did find out, it was like, wow, if I had only known, I could have done this. But we're not going to go into that way of thinking. You know what I mean? I know now, so I know how to, I'm learning ways to cope. All right. But if you don't know, man, it's bad. It gets real bad. But once you find out, that's not an issue anymore. You're taken care of for the most part because now you have resources to work with. Now you know what's going on with you, and now you can find the resources to take care of it. But yes, please take care of your mental health in every way, and don't try to self-medicate. Go see a professional and see if there's something deeper going on, and then go from there. Okay, I recommend it because I put it off for years and it just did not do well. That was not a good move. And you're just being responsible when you do things like that. You're loving yourself. That's a part of self-love. That's a self-care routine right there. Checking in with your doctors, making sure that you go to these all of these resources, utilize all of these resources that are around you to get the help that you need in every shape and form. You know what I mean? Sometimes talking to a friend is not enough. Sometimes talking to your lover is not enough. It's not that they're not loving enough or nurturing enough or they're not enough in general. It's just that they're not a professional and they haven't studied it the same, like a professional has, and they can't give you the resources that a professional could at times. And then there are in some cases where the friendships and whatever that's more beneficial because you feel more comfortable. Okay, whatever works for you works for you. But it could be that you might need a combination of both. Whatever works for you works for you, but figure that out and go get the help. Okay, it's okay to get the help. All right. And then they can recommend more procedures from then on. But like I said, just never feel guilty about this process. Just learn to love yourself as a whole. Don't love yourself in doses. Love yourself entirely. Okay, in all of your entirety, love yourself.
I'm getting blown now. I'm in my zone now.
And honestly, when you feel like everything is not okay or you're not okay, that means something needs to change. changes need to be made. That's all your body's trying to signal to you. Your mind is trying to tell you, hey, this is not good. Something needs to happen. A shift needs to happen. Changes need to happen for the better. Changes for the better, not negative changes, but positive changes. We need to do better. Something has to shake. You know what I mean? Because this can't keep going on like this. And once you figure that out, then you can maneuver better, but making the changes is what's going to help you. Making those changes is what matters the most, so figure those things out and go forward like that. You know what I mean? And do what needs to be done. And understanding that suppressing your emotions makes you ill. It can come out in different ways. Like I said, it can really hurt you. So don't suppress anything. And not feeling okay should motivate you to take action. Like I said, making those positive changes, making changes, period. And not feeling okay helps you to grow and learn so much more about yourself, because when you don't understand what's going on, you do research. And then once you do research, you find different resources and you figure out what's going on. And you have solutions. You know what I mean? It's a great process. It's not as daunting, it's not as challenging. Once you start, the rest takes care of itself. Just continue, consistency, just keep going with it and keep pursuing those solutions. Like, don't stop until you figure out what needs to be done and what can happen. Um, and like I said, through this journey, you learn how important it is to have self-care and to have self-compassion. Oh my God. Self-compassion is something that we all need to practice. And all that is being gentle with yourself, taking care of yourself, feeling better about yourself, and not being so hard or so overly critical towards yourself, not being so mean to yourself. You can't be mean to you. If the rest of the world is being mean, why are you being mean to you? Think about it like that. The rest of the world has something negative to say. Why do you have something negative to say towards yourself? Why? You know what I mean? You should be the positivity that outweighs all of that, because it's a given that other people are going to feel some type of way towards you. It's a given that other people are going to have something smart to say. But with you, it should be nonstop positivity, nonstop love, nonstop compassion towards yourself. It shouldn't be negativity. And yes, I'm saying it can be constructive. If you need to improve, okay, recognize that, but don't beat yourself down about it. Just make the changes and keep it pushing. It doesn't have to be all of that. And there's a process that we all go through, like learning the difference between feeling negative emotions and something that they call ruminating. I learned about ruminating when I was doing tarot, because there's a certain card, I can't remember what card it is, that talks about ruminating. And I was like, what is that? So ruminating is basically when you do like a repetitive, it's like basically repetitively going through the same thoughts, like doing the same thoughts over and over and over again, like in your mind, just filtering out the same thing. And usually those thoughts are dark. They're very dark and very negative. It's like you only think of it this way. You're obsessing over the same problems. You're obsessing over the same thoughts over and over and over again. It's not progressive. It's not anything positive. It's constant negativity. And it's like you just can't let it go. And I think a lot of us ruminate. We don't really think about negativity. We ruminate. Like, we obsessively do it. Like we make it our mission to constantly think about the bad things over and over and over again. So if that becomes a habit, it can be harmful to your mental health, because it means that you're not processing all of your emotions. You're only resonating with the negative ones. And that is a problem. So make sure you're not ruminating, because that right there, that is why a lot of us get so burnt out, and why a lot of us are depressed or stressed out or having anxiety attacks left and right, because we're ruminating. So if that is one of your issues, and I had to realize that's what I do. I ruminate, unfortunately, but I will eliminate that process slowly but surely now that I know. But yes, that's all you have to do. Just figure out if that's what you're doing. And if that's not what you're doing, then thank God, you can skip that step. But if that is what you're doing, okay, it's not so bad. So am I. We can get through that. It ain't nothing. Just practice different ways of being, eliminate the obsession. Get rid of it slowly but surely, not overnight, But just think about something different. Shift your way of thinking when you go towards that process. Don't let it be obsessive. Just think about it. Okay, I have that thought. And then think to yourself, is that really rational or does that make sense? You know, a lot of times we obsess over thoughts that don't even make sense. Like when I think back on the things that gave me anxiety, I'm like, that really didn't make any sense. Like that was just really irrational. But like I said, due to the damn disorder, it happens, okay? But whatever. So build your self-esteem, understand your triggers, and like I said, talk things through.
I'm getting blown